Yeah, I first got into Doom, I think in about 2018 it was, with Doom 2016. I had my first exposure to it through Markiplier. He did a Let's Play of it, of the game, and it looked really fun. I had known about like the original Doom game before, but I never played it. So it was like my first time ever playing it. I remember I didn't have like my own money yet, right? I didn't have like a job or anything yet because I wasn't at that age. And so I started playing the game through the demo. They actually had a demo on Steam. I don't know if it's still up or not, but it just lets you play through the first level of the game entirely for free. And I remember I played the shit out of that demo. That was like awesome. That was the most fun to me. Even though I was playing it on an old family computer that it was like a gaming PC we bought in like 2015 that was already like a terrible deal when we bought it for like $500. So it had like the weakest graphics card and CPU, really. And I remember I had to turn the graphics settings all the way down and it would still run at like 30 FPS, which isn't too bad. But I remember every time I would do a glory kill, or I think even when I just got like a normal kill with like a shotgun, the game would like seize up and it would slow down to like 10 FPS for a couple seconds. And it was really wild. I remember it was really frustrating, but at the same time I was having so much fun. And then I remember I eventually finally bought it. I think it was around the time I bought a new PC as well. I got my hands on a brand new gaming PC that was not a terrible deal. And I remember being so excited because the game would run at like 150 FPS at max quality settings. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And I played through it. At the time of my life, I loved Doom 2016. Great game. And then I remember seeing the trailers and everything for Doom Eternal when it came out in 2020. It was pretty awesome. But again, I didn't like... for some reason, I just didn't get around to buying it. I don't know why. Like, I had money and stuff. I just didn't buy it for a while. It was like... But then I just remember it was that fall of 2020, I believe it was. You know, it was months after the game came out. I was finally like, yeah, you know, I should just fucking play it. And I remember I came home from work one day and I just got on Steam and bought it. And I remember we had the worst Wi-Fi connection in our house. It was so slow. And so it was going to take like 8 hours for it to download. And so, you know, I got home from work at like 9 p.m. and bought it. And then I just went to sleep and I woke up at like 3 a.m. and it was done. I think it was like a school night too. So I really shouldn't have gotten up and played it. But I remember I played it and I played the first 2 levels of Doom Eternal and I fucking loved it. It was awesome. It's amazing how great these games are, you know, especially Doom Eternal. It feels weird going back to 2016 now that I've like gotten so into Eternal, but it's definitely still a very good game. Yeah, I played the shit out of it, and it's kind of just been a game I've constantly played for a while. I only have about 500 hours in it, which I know is not like the most no-lifey amount of hours in it, but it's a fair amount of hours. And yeah, I played through the whole campaign, and then I eventually got the DLC when it all came out. I got like you can get a pack where it comes with both 1 and 2. Ancient Gods Part 1, Ancient Gods Part 2. And I bought it, played through it. You know, I went back and played the campaigns on harder difficulties. I think I started with Hurt Me Plenty, which is kind of crazy because when I played the shit out of Doom 2016, I eventually got to the level where I could play it on Nightmare. I couldn't do Ultra Nightmare. That game's really hard on Ultra Nightmare. But I could at least beat it on Nightmare pretty good. Oh, and I remember I was like so excited to get Doom Eternal. I remember I was watching videos by this YouTuber named Oyff, who does like Doom videos. He does various like first-person shooter and stuff like that too. But I remember like his big blow-up video was The Only Thing They Fear Is You, which is like a really cool Doom Eternal combat compilation. And it just like showed off like some of his best gameplay on Nightmare difficulty, and it was awesome. And he was showing off like weapon swapping and stuff like that. And I remember it just really got me excited for the game when I saw that, and seeing how awesome the combat could be. And I remember I was trying to do weapon swapping in Doom 2016, which doesn't really work well. Like, it works, but you don't really need to. That's the one downside of the combat in that game. You can just use the super shotgun all the way through. Honestly, it might be like a fun challenge to set for yourself when playing it. Just be like, all right, we're not going to use the super shotgun at all this run, and try and see what you can do with the rest of the tools the game offers. Because there's like 8 guns and then the BFG, and you could just pretty much do the whole game once you have the super shotgun. I think you get it like level 4. That was the one downside, but they fixed that in Eternal, where you still have the super shotgun and it's still pretty good, but the game encourages you to use the entirety of your arsenal. But that was what I was trying to do in 2016 before I actually got Eternal. And then again, I finally went and got it. I got the game. I loved it. And I was trying to do all that weapon swapping and stuff, and I was starting to get better at the game. And just enough playthroughs. I went to Ultra Violence and then Nightmare. Played on Nightmare for the longest time. It was only this year, actually, that I finally got around to Ultra Nightmare. Like, I tried Ultra Nightmare a few times before, and it was hard at first. It takes a whole extra level of skill to play Ultra Nightmare. And it was something for the longest time I didn't even think I could achieve. Just because it's one thing to beat the game on Nightmare, but like on Ultra Nightmare, there's so much more that you have to take into account. You gotta be extra careful for everything. Because, if you die, you restart the whole game, and it's brutal. And so I remember I couldn't even get past the first level for the longest time, even though I was beating the campaign on Nightmare like every week. It was only this year that I finally took it seriously. I tried to do some live streams of it. It was just kind of hard because it takes a lot of focus to do Ultra Nightmare, I think. And it wasn't always easiest to do it on the live stream, but I was trying my best. And then eventually I got around to it. I beat the main campaign in February this year on Ultra Nightmare. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed the process of learning how to do it. And it was one of those things where, like, when you first start doing, one life runs in a game, it's pretty much, no matter what game you're playing, going to be incredibly annoying. You're going to get mad every single time you die, and you're just like, this game's bullshit. But I found that with Eternal, after so many deaths, you kind of just get used to it. And so then you're not really mad or anything. And I think, too, that takes away a lot of the nerves. On Ultra Nightmare, there's especially a lot of nerves when you're playing, where you're constantly afraid of dying. And it can really harm your gameplay, because you get shaky, your brain isn't thinking quite like it should, and it just totally screws you up. But like, after you get used to it, the nerves mostly go away. I feel like the nerves, at least on like your first or second run, I think are pretty much unavoidable in the later levels. Like, there's kind of no way you can't not be nervous once you get to like the final levels. And I remember I was amazed how well I was doing in the final levels, because I thought for sure I was gonna die. It was weird that like I had a bunch of deaths on the first 3 levels, especially Cultist Base. Cultist Base is an absolute nightmare to get through on Ultra Nightmare, because you just it just throws a lot at you, and it's a very long and difficult level. And so I died a lot there, and then I remember I think the farthest I got for a while was Super Gorness, which is the 5th level in the game, and it took me forever to get back after I died. I died to a really stupid thing. I think it was a lost soul that killed me, and I was so mad. And it took me forever to get back to that point. But eventually I did, and then I got to Arc Complex. I think I died a couple times on Arc Complex, which sucks. And then after that, I think the run where I got past Arc Complex was the one I finally like beat the rest of the game. I had a really close call with the gladiator, where it's just the hard mid-game boss fight if you don't really know what it is. And the dude's kind of tough. You can really predict his moves and stuff, but unfortunately I don't think I practiced well enough. And so in the game you have like different runes you can use, and one of them's a saving throw, which just lets you survive one near-death experience, right? So if you get hit by something and it sets your health to 0, the saving throw will set your health to 1, slow the game down, and let you have a second to turn things around. But of course, because you only get a new saving throw every time you die, and you only have 1 life on Ultra Nightmare, that means you only get 1 saving throw the entire run, and I ended up using it on the gladiator. It was kind of annoying because I was hoping to save it for the rest of the game, but you know, I got through the rest of it though. That saving throw saved me, and I managed to beat the boss fight. And then somehow get through the rest of the levels pretty flawlessly. I don't really know how I did it. It was some crazy mix of luck and some skill, I suppose. But it was really fun. And then I finally got to the final boss fight, which was so nerve-wracking, but I did it. I wonder if I still have... I think I have a clip of me in the final boss, actually. I don't know if I can put it on screen or anything, but if I can, here it is. Okay. We just have to be smart. And... Is that it? Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Dude. Let's fucking go. Yeah, snap that off. Whew. Yes. Fucking yes. Oh my god. That was crazy, bro. And so, yeah, I had a lot of fun. And it was like, I think one of the special things about Doom Eternal, for me at least, is it's one of the few games I've ever played where it makes me want to turn up the difficulty. Like a lot of games, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable playing at whatever difficulty level I want to play at. Like a lot of games, I'm just like, alright, normal's fine. There's even some games where I'm like, I don't really care, I just want to play on easy and get through it. Especially like story games where I care more about the story than maybe the combat and the like. But like Doom Eternal, I was like craving playing on a harder difficulty. It was awesome. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. And then, of course, after beating the Bane campaign on Ultra Nightmare, it was only a matter of time before I did the DLC. And I actually started with DLC 2, The Ancient Gods Part 2, because it's actually a much easier campaign than either the main campaign or Ancient Gods Part 1. Just specifically because of a certain weapon they give you. It's the Sentinel Hammer. And what the Sentinel Hammer does is it's you refill it by breaking weak points on enemies, and a lot of enemies have weak points, so it's very easy to refill. And you only need to break 2 weak points for it to refill the hammer. And every time you use the hammer, it does a massive area of effect damage on enemies around it, and it will stun the enemies for a very long time, giving you plenty of time to take them out and abuse them. And it's insane. I think too, if you use it in conjunction with the flame belch, which is the fire, it will give you extra armor, which is pretty crazy. And so that combination of everything makes the weapon just really overpowered, because you can just like refill it really quickly, stun any enemy, right? From the most weakest little grunts to like the big like barons of hell and tyrants and stuff, you could stun with it. And so it was just really overpowered. You could just really abuse it. So it helped me get through the run. I think it only took me an evening actually to beat it. I think, well, actually I did a live stream I think the day before, But then the following evening, I just did it because it was really easy. I ended up dying on the live stream, and it pissed me off. I was really mad because I was like at the very end. I think it was my first run too. I can't remember, but I got to like basically the end of the run and died to something really stupid. That was just totally a dumb mistake, and it was frustrating. But I beat it the next day, and it wasn't that bad. It was fairly easy, all things considered. But then I had the Ancient Gods Part 1, and that one was absolute bitch to do, because that's definitely the hardest campaign in the game. It just throws a lot at you. You don't have as many tools. Like, for example, in the base campaign, you have the sword that you get, the Crucible. And so what the Crucible does is you can have 3 charges of it at a time, and you can't refill it like through any traditional methods. You just have to find the charges on the ground somewhere in the level. And when you use it, it will just one-hit kill any demon you want. I think on some demons, like the Doom Hunters, I think it takes 2. I can't remember for sure. But I think sometimes if you use it wrong on the Doom Hunter, it'll take 2 hits to kill the Doom Hunter, which is unfortunate, but it's a super heavy demon, so that's kind of fair. And yeah, I just it was a really useful tool in the Ultra Nightmare run, and you don't get it in the DLC Part 1 because at the end of the base campaign, the Slayer leaves the Crucible in the head of the Titan, right? So it doesn't awaken. It's Doom lore stuff. And because of that, you just don't have it in the Ancient Gods Part 1. And of course, you don't have the Sentinel Hammer yet, so you don't have that extra tool. And on top of that, there's a lot of hard demons at you, like the spirits and stuff. It's pretty crazy. It took me quite a while to do. I finally beat it. I think it was last month. I just finally got around to it. I had a save that I did earlier this year, actually, where I just managed to get to the 3rd level. There's 3 levels in the Ancient Gods Part 1. There's 3 levels in Part 2 as well, versus the, I think, 13 in the base campaign. But the levels in the DLC are very long. Like the base campaign levels would take like maybe half an hour, 40 minutes to get done. But I think the DLC ones, they're like an hour and a half or something like that. I don't know. They feel like they take absolutely forever. I don't know. They're definitely like double length to the base campaign ones, I would say. They take quite a while, and so there's still just a lot of content. But also because of how long they are, it kind of makes it tough. Because you can only save your game at the end of a level. If you try and quit out during the middle of a level, it will delete your save file. Because obviously, if you're in a sticky situation and you tried to leave the game, it would kind of be cheating, right? Because you could just, you could just reload the save and it would like put you in a better spot. And so they just make sure you can't do that. And so it means you have to play through like a whole hour and a half level just to finally save the game, which is crazy. And again, the levels are really hard, I would say. The first level isn't that bad. The second one is pretty tough. And then the third one, honestly, all things considered, wasn't that bad. And I got to the 3rd level, which is the Holt. And just for some reason, I think it was just anxiety. I just left that save file for like months. It was like 4 or 5 months that save file was just rotting on my computer, waiting to be beaten. And it was like I was almost at the end of the game. I was on the 3rd level, so all I had to do was just get through that level. And last month I just got around to it. I went on a normal save file, just like a normal Nightmare mode save, and just practiced it a ton, memorized like enemy locations and stuff like that, and got really confident with it, and then I beat it. The final boss of that DLC is pretty tough, I would say, but he's not as bad as he's not as bad as you'd really think he would be. I just remember playing it in the nightmare mode save and getting my ass beat like constantly. He just like destroyed me. And then I watched some video. I don't remember by who it was by. If I remember, I will put it on the screen. But that video really helped because you can just like figure out where, what he's supposed to do when, and kind of the best strategies to avoid dying. And so it was really helpful. And so yeah, I beat him. And so now I have all of the campaigns beat on Ultra Nightmare, which is fun. And that makes me a super nerd, I would say. But yeah, so that's kind of my latest experiences with Eternal, honestly. I haven't played it a ton lately. When I do, it'll just be kind of like a casual evening where I'll just do a chill, like Ultra Nightmare run. Because honestly speaking, not to like flex or anything, but after you do Ultra Nightmare the first time, and you kind of like have everything memorized and you just have it down, it's kind of not that bad to do a second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, and sometimes you'll die, but like I don't really care when I die. I'm just having fun, I think that's kind of the point. I've considered at times going back to 2016 and maybe trying to do that Ultra Nightmare, but I haven't properly played 2016 in probably like 4 or 5 years, I think. Yeah, it's been like 4 years since I last played it, and I'm definitely very rusty. I tried opening it up last month, and I just got my ass beat. My old save files were all on Nightmare, and I was just trying to do a chill Ultra Violence save file, and I was just totally getting destroyed in the first level. It really shows how different the two games are. Because I've just been so used to Eternal for the longest time. 2016 feels foreign. I can only imagine how different everything's going to feel with the new game, Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm pretty excited for that. We've only got one trailer yet. It just kind of came out of nowhere on that, I think it was the Xbox live stream. I don't know, it was awesome. It looks really cool, the music sounds nice and everything. I like the graphics and the environment and everything. It looks really beautiful. And the combat looks really interesting. It looks like they're adding different mechanics. Like I think there was a parry in there and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of curious to see how they change it up. It seems like it's going to be like some Dark Souls ass thing or something. I don't know, but I'd be interested to give it a shot. We only know that it's coming, I think, in 2025, but no confirmed release date or anything. The moment they drop like a second trailer or anything, if they do that, I will be all over it. Because I'd say I'm a pretty big Doom fan of these days. Though ironically enough, despite being a big Doom fan, I haven't played the old games all that much. I've played through the first game, just the original Doom 1993 game. You've seen I've done videos on this channel before where I did like the Doomcast video, which is me playing Doom and rambling over it. Now I'm just rambling, and I probably put some gameplay in the background of this video. Actually, I'm not sure. I figured that it'd be better to have me ramble and focus on my train of thought than ramble and try and focus on both my train of thought and the game at the same time, which would just mean my speaking skills would reduce, and so would my gameplay. So I just figure I'll record the gameplay in post and just put it over here. I don't know what game it'll be. It might be Doom Eternal, I'm thinking, but Doom 1993 is a very chill one to play, I think. I don't know. Maybe in the later levels, I think it's different, but the first couple levels of the game, it's the most chill first-person shooter I think ever. It's just kind of relaxing to play because it's really not that hard unless you're playing on a harder difficulty. It's just fun. It's just a good time. And I've played through it once. I think it might have been Hurt Me Plenty. The harder difficulties are brutal on that old hard games. You know, I think I know some people. I definitely know a person in my life who's played it on max difficulty before, but I could never. I tried playing through Doom 2 at one point, but I just kind of dropped it for some reason. I never actually beat it, which is unfortunate, but maybe eventually I'll get around to it. Who knows? And then Doom 3, I actually own Doom 3 because I bought like the whole series in a pack, and I just haven't played it yet. It's not even like a matter of I can't get it working. Like, it works on my PC, and I got the graphics and everything like all tuned. I remember I was like in the menus and like getting ready to play it, and then just for some reason I never got around to it, and I don't know why. Maybe I'll give that one a shot eventually too. And then Doom 64, I've played like the first level of. That one actually seems to emulate the first game pretty well, I would say, at least from my little experience of it. It seems like a fun game. And maybe it's one I'll actually play like on the channel or something, who knows. But I mainly just play like the new games, you know. I'm not a complete boomer when it comes to Doom. I think they've done a really good job with the new games. Having played them after playing the original, I can really see all the inspiration and everything. I could see how well connected they are, despite seeming so different. And I think they did a really good job reigniting the Doom series. I think it's great what they did. And I'm only excited to see what they do next. I like that they keep trying to reinvent themselves too. I think that's the fun thing about their new games, because they did 2016, which is like the original games, but brought back into a modern style. And then they had the Eternal, where they actually changed up the combat a lot. It's very high, fast-paced, and strategic as well, I'd say. And then it seems like they're changing up a lot again with the Dark Ages. I like that, because it'd be very easy for them to just keep making the same games over and over, and people probably still buy them and play them. And that'd be that. You know, there's a lot of companies who do that. I won't say who, but there's definitely a lot of game series and stuff who just like recycle old ideas without really trying anything new, just because it makes them easy money. And I really respect them for not doing that. They try and keep things fresh and different, changing up the graphics, the combat style, everything. It's great. It's what I really enjoy about these games. And yeah, I don't really know that I have much else to say about Doom. I was kind of hoping this would be a longer rambling, but we're already at half an hour actually. And I think this is probably a fair point to start wrapping things up here. I don't know if you enjoyed this video. Sure, leave me a comment or whatever. I was just suggested by a fan to do a rambling video, and so I did it. Who knows? Maybe I'll do more. If you want me to do more, I will do more. It'll probably be about something I have interest in, I'm guessing. And it probably won't be spoiler-free. I kind of kept this spoiler-free. I don't know why I did, but it was kind of spoiler-free. I guess I revealed the end of the base campaign of Eternal, but it's whatever. But maybe I'll do... Like, I've been big into Xenoblade. Maybe I could do a Xenoblade rambling video. Or a Zelda one. I'm a longtime Zelda fan, so that might be fun. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I won't promise anything, because as we have learned, I can't promise anything on this channel. But yeah. Anyhow, I think that's about it. So I hope everybody has a nice rest of their day. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.